Hey guys, this is Showster. I'm doing the first in what I hope is a new series of wrestling game reviews. So, the first one on our list today is 80's Mania Wrestling Returns. I first found out about this one through Brian Zane and the Wrestling with Regret YouTube channel, so big shout out to them. This game is available on iOS, and I believe it's also available on Android. This is a collectible card game in which you are the booker of a fantasy wrestling company. The cards you'll collect are everything from wrestlers all the way through feuds, match types, sponsors, merchandise, and even venues. And everything that you'll collect is it's done in a way that they could, you kind of get what they're saying, but they don't get sued for copyright protection, as you'll see in just a minute. The game works like this. You'll start every week. After you get your starter deck, you'll start every week with a match card where you'll have to fill up with matches. Obviously, you'll have so many different segments, whether it's regular matches. You'll also have tag matches. There'll also be spots for skits like interviews and training montages, or microphone spots, which are, basically your interview segments. So what you'll do is you'll go through your list of required segments, and you'll select one. Then you'll select your wrestler. Now, every wrestler here is typically either a parody of an existing wrestler, or even a pop culture figure. Every wrestler has a skill set, has a number of stats which can be improved by various segments, and a list of active years. You can improve your wrestlers through and their various skills by performing various actions and putting them in different segments. For instance, placing wrestlers in a match will increase their skill stat. Meanwhile, placing them in, say, a microphone spot will increase, obviously, their microphone. Wrestlers also have a push stat, which I haven't really found a good way to increase besides spending tokens, but we'll get to that in just a second. I like the animation here on the cards. It's not too hard to figure out who everybody is, but there's just enough to where you could kind of say, well, that isn't exactly them. As I've said before, everything here is sort of laid out, so collecting, and you'll unlock cards through two different means. You'll collect cards and feuds by tag teams and feuds, by playing them in a match. You'll discover the card and you could add it to your collection, or you could go to the store where you'll purchase segments and wrestlers themselves. Every year that passes in the game, you'll also be rewarded with new venues and sponsors. There's also foil versions of the cards, which are stronger versions, though if you max out those versions, you won't be able to get the merchandise cards that come as a reward. Merchandise cards are very handy in the game because they increase your in-game cash. Now, after you've filled out your card for the night, you'll basically run your matches. After, again, you've selected all your matches and placed them in a venue, you'll get this match where it's basically the two figures on the cards kind of bashing up against each other. Depending on their ratings and sometimes even the crowd, they'll receive various star ratings. Star ratings never really seem to affect much besides just being there for the sake of being there. What will affect things are the size of the crowd you'll draw and how much you made versus how much you spent. I don't think I've ever went broke in this game. Well, I've come close to, but you know, I've never really had an issue. And even if you do lose all your money, you do have, in general, you do have, you know, free venues you could run, though they will be the smallest venues. One issue I've had with this game is that after you'll run your match, you'll see a ratings card and you'll see other companies, but ultimately speaking, you never really get a gist of how well or poorly you're doing against your competition. You might be on a run for 6 weeks, dominating in first place, but you'll never know how far behind or ahead you are in regards to your competition. Another thing that's kind of wonky about this game is the store. The store basically works like this. You'll be given a selection of 5 cards. You could purchase cards, but if there's nothing you like, you either have to wait 12 hours for the store to refresh, or you'll have to spend 1 token. Tokens only come every once a year and are tradable for $100,000 in-game cash. You could also buy tokens in the store itself. This kind of leads to an odd conundrum. You could be given a set of cards that you either can't use or don't want, and then have to wait 12 hours to get a new set available. The store is also where you'll heal injured wrestlers. Injuries will take place from time to time and but can be shortened greatly if you were to pay cash money out the door. The cards also have set time limits in game, meaning you can only use them through certain years. For instance, in this set with the shop, Bombshell was available only from 1990 through 1999. Meanwhile, the Annihilator was only available from 1980 through 1989. The game is fun, but there's also another weird thing to it, where you'll never really see your feuds really play out besides just having a card to play. Sure, it adds a start to the match, but you never really get any of that feedback of, again, how well or how poorly you're doing. It's very sandboxy. So if you're looking for something that's really more of a competitive game, something that has a bit more of an edge about it as far as trying to make a great business, you may not find that here. But there is still some fun to be had, and certainly the game is for a free game, you can't really complain. I'll give this one a recommendation, so make sure to download it now through your app store. Till next time, I'm Showster.